Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's time once again to say the truth. And no Mount, no Sterling in the starting lineup. And England are looking a lot better.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we're not going to spend too much time on France versus Poland. Congratulations to France. Congratulations to Giroud. Congratulations to Kylian Mbappe. Absolutely ripping it apart. I think Giroud has broken Thierry Henry's record. So, man, honestly, kudos to you, Oliver Giroud. What a career. What an underrated player. But we're not going to spend too much time. Obviously, they're through to the quarterfinals, and they will quite possibly, because I've stopped watching England versus Senegal after the 75th minute. England's winning 3-0. Expected Senegal to do some madness, but they didn't. And we're going to talk about this. So France versus England in the quarterfinals down the track we'll touch on. But right now, we have to talk about the England setup. There's a reason why I believe England looked better. Not flawless, but better. Their balance was a lot better than previous matches. Why? 4-3-3, in my opinion, that's how they sort of set up. For defenders, obviously right back of Kyle Walker, left back in Luke Shaw. In the middle, you've got John Stones and Maguire. I've got issues with Maguire. If they had a better defender, ball-playing defender than Maguire, I think you got to start taking England a lot more seriously. In the middle, they had Declan Rice as the deepest midfielder. A little bit further ahead than Declan Rice was Henderson. A little bit more advanced than that was Bellingham, but Bellingham was more box-to-box. And I'm going to talk about Bellingham because that ties into the Mason Mount conversation we're going to have. The truth bomb we're going to put on today. And up front, there was Phil Foden on the left side, through the centre, Kane, and on the right side, Bukayo Saka. Now, no Mason Mount, no Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling not starting due to personal issues. There's some publications, there's some articles going out through different publications and reporters saying that there's been a robbery at his place. So hopefully everything is fine and his family's all well and safe. And this is the reason why he didn't start. Mason Mount didn't start. And in this setup, I feel in this 4-3-3 setup, I feel Mason Mount's position is probably where Bellingham plays or where Henderson plays. I don't believe it's anywhere up front in the three. Definitely not as a striker. Definitely not where Bukayo Saka is, and definitely not where Foden is. And if it's anyone in the midfield, if you honestly think who would it be closest to, it's probably going to be closest to Bellingham. Now, watch the way Bellingham played that match. Jude Bellingham absolutely ran that show. Now, yes, there was a couple of times it was through a counter. The first couple of goals were through counters, but nonetheless, you got to put away teams whichever way is presented to you. England had a lot of the ball. Like, it's not like Senegal dominated anything. Senegal actually had nothing in that match. They were in the game somewhat before the first goal, but they weren't doing anything outrageous. So England had a lot of the possession. They didn't do much with the possession, but on the counter, they really devastated Senegal. Now, watch the way Bellingham played that match. From deep, driving runs, great movement, clever passing. His movement and the pass, I can't remember who it was from midfield. Might have been Foden maybe, or someone who passed it through to Bellingham for the first goal, and then Bellingham then cuts it back in for Henderson. I can't really remember who that pass was from, but it was a great move from Bellingham to go out wide. Then the pass came through, and then Bellingham, with lovely vision, puts in a nice cross, squares the ball brilliantly for Henderson. So there's one example. Second goal as well. Bellingham drives through the middle, smashes the ball through to Foden, and then Foden cuts it in and Kane gets the goal. This is what I expect Mason Mount to do at Chelsea Football Club. Once again, this is no hate. I like Mason Mount. This is a constructive criticism as to what level is required at Chelsea Football Club for us to succeed in that midfield position. If Mason Mount, who keeps saying he's a number 8 and would like to play in a 4-3-3, three-man midfield, he's a number 8. That's the kind of quality that I need, the way Jude Bellingham showed against Senegal. That is exactly what I need. Now, I'm not watching for the last 10 minutes since Mount has come on. So if he does well in those 10 minutes, so be it. But in that first 75 minutes that I watched, from what I got from Jude Bellingham, is exactly what I want to see Mason Mount do in Chelsea Football Club. Great movement, ability to drive, great passing, and that box-to-box ability. Is Jude Bellingham is just as good off the ball and helping out. Now, some may say he's just not that guy. Mason Mount's just not that guy, and that's fine. But this is where I need Mount to realize within himself what is your skill set? What are your strengths? Focus on your strengths, and then hopefully the coach can have a good balance. Because today what we saw from England, and we'll get to Foden as well, it was a proper balance, man. With Sterling, now let's talk a little bit about Sterling and Foden. I like Sterling, but what Foden gives is he's got that creative sense in him. The way he sort of set up Harry Kane, that's not by chance. That's just him drilled into his skill set by playing in Man City under Pep Guardiola. Foden can play in midfield, Foden can play in the wings, but the best part about Foden is he's a creative individual. Sterling, when he plays on the wing, I think a lot of us expect him to be creative, but he's predominantly not that guy. He's someone who can be at the end of finishing a particular move, as we saw even in Man City, making those runs in the far post and tapping those shots in. Sometimes he can take a shot outside of the box, but he's not one of those. He can be. He'll find those assists every now and then, but that's not his predominant skill set. It doesn't come naturally to him. You look at Foden and look what he's doing at England, and it's mad how he didn't start previously. Even in midfield, he probably should have started. But the balance that England got right is exactly the balance that we at Chelsea Football Club don't seem to get it right. Do you know what I mean? So this is the issue at the moment that we have. And I'm not surprised that England's done well without Mount starting, without Sterling starting. Had Sterling and Mount started, for example, you would have had Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham as the double pivot, and you would have Mount just a bit further ahead, and Sterling, Kane, Bukayo Saka. So Mount becomes the creative hub, and you expect a lot from the front three as well. And the balance is off shape. As soon as you take away Mount from there, and you have Bellingham a little bit more further up and act as a box-to-box, and you allow Foden to start as well, it's a totally different ballgame. And this is something that we need to think about at Chelsea Football Club. Exactly how do we want to utilize Mount? What sort of personnel do we need? What kind of brand of football that we want to play? This match against Senegal for England, I still don't think England were flawless, but at least they gave themselves a proper chance. At least they're putting themselves out there to challenge France, which is the next game. France ain't going to be easy. Kylian Mbappe, Griezmann, Giroud, and all the different technical ballers they have in midfield, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and the likes. Let me have a look at the French lineup. What did France have as their lineup? England still 3-0 after 90 minutes. Let me have a quick look at this French lineup. So they had Adrien Rabiot. Rabiot has been actually pretty good. Tchouaméni, Griezmann, Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembélé. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the French team. But at least now, with the balance that England's showing, they give themselves some sort of an opportunity. And this is what I wanted to highlight in this particular video about Mason Mount and Sterling. It's not a coincidence that England's done well. It really isn't. There's a reason behind it. And I'm baffled that Southgate didn't see this previously. He's pretty much been forced to do this because the fans have forced him to do this. The fans were screaming out for Foden. Fans were screaming out, don't start Mount and have a better balance in midfield. Shout out to Henderson as well. He's done really well. And shout out to Declan Rice. Look, Declan Rice, he just kept things quite simple. I was saying it to Eunice and Matisse on the group chat that if Declan Rice just had Casemiro kind of attributes, Casemiro is, does what Declan Rice does in terms of off the ball defensive duties, but on the ball, Casemiro is stupendous. Look at what he's doing at Brazil. If Declan Rice just had those capabilities, that capacity to do what Casemiro does with the ball, I think this England team becomes title contenders to win the World Cup. Seriously. With Maguire, if they had another ball-playing defender, and with Declan Rice, if they just had another that Casemiro style, they would have become seriously, they would go a long way to becoming world champions. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what's your thoughts in regards to Mount, especially Mount not starting and the way Jude Bellingham played. For me, the only way Mount, and I think it was Mount substituted on for Jude Bellingham. I'm pretty certain. Let me have a look at this. I'm pretty certain Mount was brought on. Jude Bellingham saying that Mount came on. So for me, that seems like a position where Mount could. That's his position, that Jude Bellingham role. But can he actually carry that out? That's what I want to hear from you guys. Sterling as well. Is he a creator? Is he someone who's a goal scorer? I personally feel he's a goal scorer, and we need to get the balance right at Chelsea Football Club. Not to expect him to do what Foden is doing for England or whoever else. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this particular match. As I said, on Mount, Sterling. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Actually, I just remembered. But before Senegal looked so poor. So poor. And Mendy, my God, we've talked about his goalkeeping in recent times. He should have, I personally feel he should have saved Henderson's shot, that first one. That really just trickled in under his under his hand. Every time previously when Kepa used to be goalkeeper and we used to letting a goal, everyone would complain, oh, Mendy wouldn't, Mendy would stop that. Mendy would stop that. Now Mendy, he's starting for Senegal and he's letting in all these goals. Where are those comments? The thing is, it's goalkeepers will have these issues, but I think at the moment, spotlight is on Mendy massively on Mendy. Let me know about that as well. Mendy, it's not looking good. And this World Cup, he's been dodgy as well for Senegal. Koulibaly as well in this particular match. Don't think he was that good. Some of his distribution from the back was not that great. So yeah, smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, see ya.